For democracy in Thailand, this is a pivotal moment, a stunning verdict in favor of the opposition. Thai voters have rejected the military-backed government, backing two major pro-democracy opposition parties, both of which will now look at a coalition government. On top is the Progressive Move Forward Party, one that wants to reform Thailand's strict royal insult laws. MFP is set to be the biggest party, followed by its rival opposition, the Pro-Thai movement. The strong mandate for the opposition shows that Thais desire reform. Leading the Move Forward Party is Pita Limjaroenrat, a man that few took seriously, but the Harvard-educated leader seems ready to become the 30th Prime Minister of Thailand.
I am ready to be the Prime Minister for all, whether you agree with me or you disagree with me. The sentiment of the era has changed, and it's right. It was the right timing that people have been through enough of lost decade in the past decade, and today is a new day, and hopefully it's full of bright sunshine of hope going forward.
The father of one is considered a political heartthrob, inspiring pop star levels of hysteria from his supporters. Pita was educated in New Zealand and the United States. Studying at Harvard on an international scholarship, he then went on to become an entrepreneur. On the campaign trail, Pita was a dynamic presence, capitalizing on his youth and energy to reach voters. MFP is the only party promising to reform these lèse-majesté laws, which makes it illegal to defame, insult, or threaten the monarchy.
Move Forward has welfare policies, but Move Forward moves to the new frontier. It's no longer about populism. So actually, they have tapped into a lot of sentiments that have been feeling, I think, that Thailand needs to change. And that change has to do with the reform of the military, the monarchy, getting rid of the draft, amending the Article 112 lèse-majesté. That's what Move Forward proposes, and people chose them yesterday.
Pita Limjaroenrat said he would seek to build a six-party coalition. This will include Pheu Thai, that is ready to join. But the results are a slight disappointment for Paetongtarn Shinawatra. Paetongtarn is the third child of former PM Thaksin Shinawatra. Her father was booted out of office in the 2006 military coup. He now lives in self-exile abroad. Paetongtarn then worked for her family's company until last year. The 36-year-old showed immense stamina, hitting the campaign trail while being heavily pregnant. She gave birth to her second child less than 2 weeks before the polling day.
Pheu Thai was the biggest winning party, and a few times by landslides. But this time, I think they're running on the old slogans, on the old concept of populism. The latest gimmick of giving out 10,000 baht in digital wallet money to people who are 16 years and older. It's tough now to compete on populism because all parties are populist. So Pheu Thai becomes another populist party among the many.
MFP and Pheu Thai are expected to take 292 out of 500 seats. Meanwhile, the army-allied parties mustered just 76 seats in total. But this is a kingdom where coups have often trumped the ballot box, so there are still fears that the result may be overturned.
Email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power. like a partner and not a former colony.